American Motors and Renault take every possible measure to ensure that each new vehicle you receive is equipped as specified by your dealership. And the carriers that deliver your vehicles follow specified procedures to ensure that they arrive in good condition. Yet it's important that you inspect each vehicle upon receipt to verify its condition in order to avoid possible dollar losses to your dealership due to specification or transportation damage problems. If your job duties involve the handling of new vehicles, this training kit can help you become more effective in this area. In this film, we'll begin by discussing the correct method for inspecting each new vehicle. Your dealership is eligible for reimbursement for repairs required to correct damage that occurred during transit. So we'll identify the procedures you should follow in these situations. Missing items which were lost during transit, have to be handled in another way. So we'll also discuss this procedure. Finally, we'll discuss the procedure you should follow if a vehicle arrives with the wrong equipment or is lacking a specified option. Copies of this new vehicle inspection report have been included in this training kit. If you need additional copies, you can make photocopies. By following this form item by item, you can make sure that you're performing thorough inspections. The items are listed in a logical order. When you use the form, start at the front of the vehicle, then move on to the right side, the rear, and the left side. Place a check in the OK box for each item unless it's damaged or missing, in which case you should check the damaged or missing box. If you find any damage, note its exact location on the diagrams in the center of the form. The right-hand side of the form lists the interior and miscellaneous items that need to be inspected. If a vehicle does not have the equipment specified on the sticker, you should make a notation at the bottom of the form. When new vehicles arrive at your dealership during normal business hours, they should be inspected by you and the carrier's representative, who is usually the driver of the truck. Inspect all of the vehicles immediately. There's one important thing you should check for before any of the vehicles are unloaded. Look for any damage that may have been caused by improper tie-down. For example, if a vehicle is chained at the springs instead of the tie-down points on the frame, damage may result. The unloading of the vehicles is the carrier's responsibility. To avoid liability for any accidental damage, dealership personnel should never participate in the unloading operation. When the vehicles are unloaded, inspect the exterior and interior of each vehicle. Always look for any missing items as well as any damage that may have occurred during transit. In addition to damaged sheet metal, check for things such as damaged moldings and plastic body components. Cracks, chips, or scratches in window glass. And cut or punctured tires. There are several things to check in the trunk or cargo area. Make sure the spare is inflated and in good condition. Check to be sure that all dealer-installed items, such as wheel covers, floor mats, and the antenna mast, are all present and undamaged. Then move on to the passenger compartment. Look for damage to dash panels, trim panels, upholstery, or carpeting. Also look for missing items, such as lighters, handles, and knobs. Check the glove box to be sure the owner's manual and spare keys are there. Some vehicles may also have the trailer hitch ball or locking gas cap in the glove box. Finally, use the window sticker to verify that each vehicle has the correct options. The carriers must allow you a reasonable amount of time to inspect each load, so take time to perform thorough inspections. Here's an important point. If vehicles arrive covered with excessive residue, take the time to wash them off before you inspect them. If you don't wash the vehicles before you inspect them, and you find scratches or dents later, you won't receive reimbursement. You'll receive a copy of the delivery receipt from the carrier's driver that lists each vehicle by its identification number and its weight. If you've thoroughly inspected a load of vehicles and found no problems, sign your copy of the receipt as well as the carrier's copy, and the driver will do the same. You can then Xerox your copy and insert a copy in the vehicle file that your dealership should generate for each of the new vehicles. Now, what exactly do you do if you find a problem? As noted at the beginning of this film, this depends on the type of problem. If you receive damaged vehicles, there are some specific procedures you'll need to follow in order to receive reimbursement for any repairs your dealership is required to perform. There are several different types of damage you may find, and each type must be handled differently. Minor damage should be corrected during your pre-delivery procedure. This includes things like small paint chips and minor surface abrasions. Your dealership won't be reimbursed for these items. The majority of all transportation damage would fall into the major damage category. Your dealership will be reimbursed for repairs required to correct any major damage. Major damage includes dented body panels and moldings, damaged windshields and window glass, and broken components. If you receive a vehicle with major damage, make a notation on your copy and the carrier's copy of the delivery receipt. Fully describe the type and extent of the damage, and refer to the damaged vehicle by its vehicle identification number. Do not assign responsibility for the damage on the delivery receipt. The only purpose this serves is to create reimbursement problems among American Motors, the carrier, and your dealership. The only exception to this rule could occur if a carrier's driver makes a notation on the receipt blaming the factory for the damage. If this situation occurs and you don't agree, you should make your own notation stating that you don't agree with his comment. Sign both copies of the receipt and ask the carrier's driver to do the same. These signatures don't imply any responsibility for the damage. They simply certify that it exists. You can then perform the repairs. In order to obtain reimbursement for the repairs, you'll need to submit a transportation claim summary form to American Motors. American Motors will then send copies to the carrier so that the corporation can obtain your dealership's reimbursement from the carrier. There is some specific information that must appear on this form: the carrier's name and address, the date the vehicle was received and the delivery receipt number, a complete description of the parts required and their prices, and a description and the cost of any labor involved in correcting the damage. This reference piece, which has also been included in this training kit, explains the information that must appear on the transportation claim summary form. Be sure to review this reference piece. Another damage category, critical damage, includes damage of a severe nature that can't be totally corrected by a repair procedure. An example of critical damage might be a case of severe A-pillar damage that, even after extensive repair, could still be detrimental to the vehicle's structural integrity or operation. If you receive a vehicle with critical damage, note the damage on both copies of the delivery receipt, sign both copies, and ask the carrier's driver to do the same. Then, contact your zone service department immediately. Do not perform any repairs until you've received instructions from the zone. The last damage category, hidden damage, refers to problems that aren't evident during your initial visual inspection. An example of hidden damage might be a damaged muffler, which probably wouldn't be detected until the vehicle is placed on a hoist. Other examples of hidden damage might be dented gas tanks, dented transmission or engine oil pans, and tires that are cut on the inside. Hidden damage does not include scratches or surface abrasions covered by excessive residue accumulated during transportation. Therefore, as noted earlier, it's important that you wash dirty vehicles before you inspect them. If you find hidden damage after you've signed the delivery receipt and the driver has left the premises, you'll need to fill out a special form to obtain reimbursement, a carrier notification letter, AM 4184, which is available through your zone. This form must be completed and sent to the carrier within 48 hours of receipt of the vehicle. There's some important information that must appear on this form. A complete description of the hidden damage, the vehicle identification number, and the delivery receipt number. Before you mail the notification letter to the carrier, be sure to make a copy of it. After you've performed the repairs, prepare a transportation claim summary form. Attach this copy to the form and submit the claim. Here's an important point. Carrier regulations exclude liability for damage caused by leaking battery acid or other fluids, as well as damage caused by freezing of cooling systems or batteries. These cases must be handled in a particular way. Note the damage on the delivery receipt, but do not submit a transportation claim summary form. These types of damage must be entered on a warranty claim form. When you submit the warranty claim, it's important that you attach your copy of the delivery receipt. Missing items are items which were most likely lost during transit. Examples might be missing floor mats, antenna masts, spare tires, jacks, or wheel covers. As mentioned earlier, it's important that you note these missing items on your inspection report form during your inspection. Also, make a notation on your copy and the carrier's copy of the delivery receipt. Be sure to refer to the vehicle by its vehicle identification number. Sign both copies of the receipt, then ask the driver to do the same. You can then replace the missing items and submit a transportation claim summary form to obtain reimbursement. As you know, shipments are sometimes delivered to your dealership after normal business hours. You should always inspect these vehicles the morning of the next working day. Also, make a note on your copy of the delivery receipt explaining that the load was received before or after normal business hours. Any damage or missing items you find on vehicles received after hours should be handled in the same manner as hidden damage, by the use of the carrier notification letter, or, if this form is unavailable, on stationery bearing your dealership's letterhead. Remember that the letter must be sent to the carrier within 48 hours of delivery, and a copy must be attached to the transportation claim summary form. In addition to being properly prepared, it's important that all transportation claim summary forms are submitted correctly, along with the necessary supporting documents. The reference piece included in this kit identifies the documents that must accompany all claims, but let's discuss them briefly now. Your copy of the delivery receipt or bill of lading must always be attached. In cases of hidden damage or damage found on a vehicle delivered after business hours, a copy of the carrier notification letter must also be attached. A copy of the dealer repair order must be included. If any sublet repairs were required, this invoice must also accompany the claim form. Be sure that this invoice is itemized to reflect each individual repair. If a vehicle requires complete repainting, authorization must be obtained through your zone office before the work is done. A copy of the written authorization must then be submitted along with the transportation claim summary form. A copy of the vehicle invoice must be attached to claims for missing items. Before you mail the claim and its supporting documents, remove the dealer work copy sheet and file it in the vehicle's file. All transportation claim summary forms must be mailed to this address within 30 days from the date the vehicle was received. Do not mail them with your warranty claims, which go to Milwaukee. All damaged parts listed on a transportation claim summary form must be clean and tagged with a transportation damage claim tag. These parts are not to be submitted with the claim. Hold them at your dealership. They must be available for the carrier to pick up, should he desire to do so. If the carrier doesn't pick them up within 45 days from the date the claim was mailed to Kenosha, or neglects to provide you with a statement regarding disposition, scrap the parts. If a transportation claim summary form is returned to your dealership by American Motors because of incomplete or incorrect information, there's a specific procedure you should follow to obtain reimbursement. This procedure is outlined in the reference piece included in this kit. You may receive notification that the dollar amount of a claim has been corrected upward or downward. The reference piece also provides information on handling these situations. If total payment of a claim has been denied, the entire claim set will be returned to your dealership. You can resubmit a new claim if you have documents or statements that justify resubmission. Consult the reference piece for this resubmittal procedure. Now, how do you handle a vehicle that arrives with incorrect equipment? If you receive a vehicle that lacks an item specified by the window sticker, but another similar item has been substituted, the vehicle was simply not manufactured to the correct specifications. An example might be the radio in the vehicle. The window sticker may list one type, however, the vehicle is equipped with another type. Production shortages may result in a situation whereby you receive a vehicle lacking an option, but nothing is substituted. For example, the window sticker may list cruise control, but the vehicle arrives without it. If you discover a specification or production shortage problem during your inspection, make a notation on your copy and the carrier's copy of the delivery receipt. Then sign both copies and ask the driver to do the same. Then contact your zone vehicle distribution department immediately. Do not submit a transportation claim summary form. We've covered a lot of information in this film, so let's quickly review some important points. Always use the new vehicle inspection report included in this training kit when you inspect a new vehicle. Take the time required to perform thorough inspections. Note any missing or damaged items on both copies of the delivery receipt. Sign them and have the driver do the same. Don't assign responsibility for the damage on the delivery receipt. Use the reference piece included in this kit as a guidebook in the preparation and submission of transportation claim summary forms. If you receive a vehicle that was manufactured to incorrect specifications, or is lacking an option due to production shortages, contact your zone vehicle distribution department. Finally, keep this in mind. All of the information contained in this training kit was included to help your dealership avoid potential dollar losses and to take the first step in ensuring customer satisfaction.